Hey guys, happy Friday. I hope you had a great week. Since today is Friday, I like to end the week on a high note and go through my weekly wins, my 3 wins of the week. This week, I had 3 particularly good wins that I wrote down here. The first one was getting to know the other great game of business coach that I shadowed out in Indianapolis. His name is Kevin Walter. He's been doing this. He was a certified coach for over 10 years now. He's been in business for a couple of decades, has a lot of success, and I watched him coach a company that's worth somewhere between $50 and $100 million in revenue. Not worth, but that's what they do in revenue. And it was awesome to see him do it because he has a lot of things that he does his own way, particularly that he tells a story almost every couple of minutes. So he's always breaking down concepts and telling stories and examples from his own life and from his clients' lives, and from other great game of business companies to emphasize and to teach the points that he's trying to make. So that was the first one, getting to know him. We went out to dinner the last night, and it was the only time that we had to spend together really one-on-one. And just an awesome guy from Chicago, the youngest of 11 brothers and sisters. We had a lot in common, so we really hit it off, had a great conversation over dinner, and he's just super willing to help and said that if I ever need any help with my coaching or in my business, to let him know. So I thought that was a really good connection to make. So that was win number 1. Win number 2 was that we launched a new lead gen method or channel at our agency, and it already started bringing in qualified leads and appointments. So really excited about that. That one I learned from a friend of mine named Brian Hong that I met at a conference that we've been going to now for, he's been going longer than me, but every year I see him at this conference for the last 5 or 6 years called SEO Rockstars. And we always have a good time. And we started recently meeting once a week as like a little mastermind group to help each other, because the 3 of us, him, myself, Kevin Heimlich of the ad firm, we meet once a week. We kind of share ideas. It's like a little mastermind, hold each other accountable, help each other out whenever possible. So it's a really good supportive group that I'm a part of. And Brian was having success with this certain lead gen method, so he shared it with us. And now we rolled it out at our agency, and it already started bringing in results and bringing in leads and appointments. So really excited about that. Lastly, working on through the Expert Secrets book, Russell Brunson, there's an exercise in there that helps you come up with like an origin story. And it basically is 13 steps to creating a good story, because every story, every movie that you hear, if it's a good, successful movie with a good plot, it usually follows the same type of script, the same journey. A hero has conflict, finds a guide, the guide provides a plan, etc., etc. So I was working through my kind of origin story here with these 13 questions, and I'll just say one line from each question as like a way to to practice my story and get it out there. I hope you like it. So what I wanted most out of college was to provide for my family. When I first met my wife, girlfriend at the time, in Syracuse University, I would always kind of sell her on the dream, tell her that she had money back then, well, at least more than I did. So she would, if she could take care of me for the time being, I would take care of the future, and I would support her in the future. So that was the overarching desire for me, and I knew to do so I'd want to grow a company that ran with or without me and grew with or without me. So that was always my objective in life and in my career. So internally, providing for my family would just make me feel, obviously, like I was valuable, that I was doing my part Other vehicles that I have tried along the way, I opened restaurants, as you may or may not know, real estate sales, Forex trading, multi-level marketing back in college. I tried just about everything to make money. A lot of them just put me further into debt until I met my partner and we started Apricot Law. But the call for me that made me kind of really start on this journey of Great Game of Business was buying out my partner. And the first time ever I had my own company without any partners. So that was exciting. That was about a year ago, last February. But at the same time, we were losing clients. We were going through the process of getting a loan to buy out my partner, and we were losing clients. And then when we bought out my partner, we took on debt for the first time. So I really was just, we were going in the wrong direction. And the only thing that was on my mind, obviously, was to stop the bleeding, to turn the ship around. And that's when, obviously I had a lot on the line. I just took on all this debt to buy him out. I have 2 kids, a family now, so I couldn't, I had to do everything in my power to get us back on the growth track. And that's when I found the Great Game of Business. I got an email about it. There was a course that the Growth Institute was putting out about it. And I jumped in, and that's when I realized what I've been doing wrong all along, and that without a team that acted like owners and that really were thinking about the business and growing the business, and without getting buy-in from a team of people and just trying to go it alone and do everything alone in business, I was sort of like the ceiling for my success in any of my companies. So that was the epiphany that I had. And the Great Game of Business came along, and with their 10 steps of implementation, I was able to kind of self-implement and roll it out at our company. And then I've said this before too, but over the first 6 months of 2022, we had only made about $30,000 in profit, just under $30,000 in profit, measly $30,000. And then in the last 6 months, we made $255,000 in profit, and I attribute that all to the Great Game of Business. Every team member was engaged, and the engagement was at an all-time high. We paid out $15,000 in Q3 and Q4 gain share bonuses. Other results from this framework from Great Game, if you haven't heard, SRC, the company that created the Great Game of Business and open book management, they are now a $1 billion company. When they first bought, with the person, Jack Stack, when he first bought the company, they were going out of business essentially. And he turned it, with the Great Game of Business with open book management, into a $1 billion company with over 60 different spin-off businesses. So, and they've outperformed the market by a lot over the past 30, 40 years, including Berkshire Hathaway, by the way. Last 2 points here. I already said that the end result of 2022 was 15% profit, and our profit pretty much exploded after we got our team to buy in, and I really did turn the ship around and stop the bleeding and back to profitability. We're able to pay our loans, so it really helped me save the day. And then on my journey, along that entire journey there, I just got more peace of mind. I feel like I'm sharing the burden of growing the company with others and not shouldering 100% of the responsibility. So I'm sleeping better at night. And the best thing is that clients are getting better results because all of our people are engaged and now thinking it like owners and wanting to really satisfy our clients. So anyway, how was that? That was the first go of our origin story or epiphany story, as described in Expert Secrets, the book. And there's 13 steps there, and And so that was a big win for me this week, just working on storytelling. I think it's really powerful from a sales perspective and from a teaching perspective, or if you're getting out there, putting yourself out there in any way, creating content. I think it's super important to start telling stories. So just like Kevin Walter, the coach that I shadowed, he tells stories all the time. Russell Brunson, they counted how many stories he told on stage. It was like 1 per minute. So just extremely important to start telling stories in our business, especially from a sales perspective, but also from a teaching, coaching, management perspective. The stories are really what get people excited and remember you by. And I think that I think it's just going to be a really powerful thing. So happy that I worked on storytelling. So those were the 3 wins for the week. Getting to know Kevin Walter, great guy. Launching a new lead gen method or strategy that already started producing. And lastly, learning how to craft a good story with a simple framework in the Expert Secrets book, and just getting better at storytelling. So those are the 3 wins for the week. I always like to end the week with the top 3 wins, the best things that happened to me in the week, the biggest progress or achievements. So remember, people support what they help create. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you very much for watching.